Newswatch, your source for all stories impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Ben Schwartz. Thanks for joining us. Every year, the Ohio River Sweep enlists thousands of volunteers to help clean up the Ohio River and tributaries. And in Athens, that means the hocking. We went out to the hocking this weekend to follow volunteers doing their part to clean up the river. A group of volunteers walk along the Hocking River, picking up every bit of trash they come across. These people are some of the 62 volunteers in Athens taking part in the Ohio River Sweep. Rex Cosgrove is one of those volunteers and appreciates the fact that they are some of hundreds of volunteers cleaning up trash along the Ohio River and its tributaries.
I'm originally from western Pennsylvania, which is also in the Ohio watershed, and so it is cool that like people from back home where I'm from and people back in my current home are like all working together to get something done.
Local organizers say anyone who has seen the Ohio River knows there is work to be done.
If you've ever been on the Ohio River, you have noticed that there is trash all along the banks, and it gets there through stormwater, picking up trash in the interior properties and carrying it down to the Ohio River. And in our case, to the Hocking River.
This year in Athens, volunteers collected 46 bags of trash, 37 bags of recycling, and 60 pounds of scrap metal. Official numbers for the entire sweep are not yet available. Last year, volunteers collected over 300 tons of trash. Hundreds of volunteers along hundreds of miles of riverbank, doing what they can to make the Ohio a cleaner river for everyone to enjoy. This was the 30th year for the Ohio River Sweep and the 4th year for the Ohio River Sweep on the Hocking. The sweep spans through Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Scioto County parents accused of killing their infant son pleaded not guilty to murder, according to court officials. Jessica and Daniel Groves also pled not guilty to charges including kidnapping and corpse abuse. The couple's 4-month-old son, Dylan, was found in a well roughly 30 feet deep in Otway. Authorities say Dylan was removed from his parents' custody when he was born with drugs in his system, but was later returned to his father. Ohio University is saving $23 million by removing the back South Green dormitories. That's according to Steve Wood, Chief Facilities Officer and Associate Vice President for Facilities Management and Safety. It was estimated that the demolition of the dorms will cost $2.1 million, but Wood said demolition outweighs cost of maintenance.
That is money we would have had to spend on the dorms to replace equipment, etc., to make renew the life cycle for the buildings, and demolition is a much more cost-effective option, and that the demolition is in concert with the Housing Master Plan and the Board of Trustees approval of that plan and the Campus Master Plan.
The money from the materials and metals recycled will be put back into the new green space. The Board of Trustees will be meeting Thursday and Friday to discuss more about the budget. Heavy rain is expected throughout the region this coming week. The potential rain has multiple counties in a flood watch. In Ohio, a flood watch is in effect for Athens, Gallia, Jackson, Lawrence, Morgan, Perry, Vinton, and Washington counties. In Kentucky, Boyd County and Greenup County are under a flood watch. And in West Virginia, Cabell, Putnam, Wood, and Jackson counties are also under a flood watch. The flood watch will be in effect until Thursday night at 8 p.m.
Good evening, I'm forecaster Blake Cudsley, and you're right, that rain is just not going anywhere. It's definitely sticking around here for a while. Right now in Athens, looking at 74 degrees. Those scattered rains are going to be throughout this evening and into the overnight hours. We do have that flash flood watch going into effect immediately and until 8 p.m. Thursday night. We have southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at precipcast, this is what we have going on throughout this evening. These pop-up storms coming through the area, giving us some rain throughout the overnight hours. Fairly scattered, not very widespread, so everyone has a pretty much equal chance of having some rain showers throughout this evening. We take a look around the region. 76 for right now in Ripley, 74 in Marietta, and a cool 72 degrees up in Cambridge. Like I said, all of these areas have an equal chance of having some rain showers and some possible storms moving through this evening. We take a look at the headlines. Scattered rain throughout the night. More flooded, watch flooded roadways as we head throughout the evening. And will sunshine ever be in the forecast again? Ben and my extended forecast will let you know.
Thank you, Blake. Governor Mike DeWine says Ohio has received federal assistance for residents of 10 counties impacted by tornadoes and other severe weather. President Donald Trump issued a disaster declaration Tuesday to help individuals and businesses after 21 tornadoes touched down in various southern Ohio counties, including Hocking. The declaration allows possible low-interest loans from the U.S. Small Business Administration and opens up other assistance programs. A West Virginia education bill is one step closer to passing. Today, lawmakers advanced the plan to allow the state's first charter schools, setting it up for a full vote in the GOP-controlled chamber Wednesday. If approved, the bill would head to the Senate for further debate. Education unions and Democrats oppose the measure. They say that it's similar to a wide-ranging Senate bill that has led to massive teacher protests at the Capitol. A former Cincinnati area elementary school gym teacher is facing sexual abuse charges involving 28 first-grade girls. John Austin Hopkins resigned from his coaching and teaching jobs in March. Authorities took him into custody Monday. Warren County prosecutor David Forchnell laid out the charges Hopkins faces.
36 counts of gross sexual imposition relate to 28 different children. All of these students, again, were female first graders at Clear Creek Elementary. The elements of gross sexual imposition are that on the specific dates in question and specifically identified in the indictment, Mr. Hopkins had sexual contact with a person who was under 13 years of age.
Hopkins is still in police custody. No arraignment has been set. Police say a West Virginia pastor has been charged with sex crimes involving a mentally incapacitated man. The Bluefield Daily Telegraph reports a Mercer County grand jury indicted Anderson H. Martin II last week on charges of third-degree sexual assault and second-degree sexual abuse. Bluefield Sergeant K.L. Adams told the newspaper that the victim is 25 but has the mental capacity of a 10 to 12-year-old. A proposal in the Senate version of Ohio's two-year budget would place a 17% tax on the invoice price of vaping products. The impact of this tax would be felt in towns like Athens that has at least 4 shops that specialize in vaporizers and e-cigarettes. Stefan Lewis, manager of Silver Serpent, said that he believes the tax will harm small businesses.
It's going to kill small business. Like, they're targeting small businesses. I mean, there's probably, at a short estimate, maybe 10,000 shops in this area that's going to be affected. That's if every one of them employs 5 people. I mean, that's a lot of unemployment, and they're not going to be able to pay that 17% tax.
Ohio State Senate Finance Chairman Matt Dolan said the tax would discourage teens from smoking nicotine. If you hate how much time you spend in line at the BMV, you may be in luck. Ohio is testing a program that could reduce the time people spend in line at the BMV. People who need to renew their driver's license or auto registration can check in online and advance in the queue without physically waiting in a BMV office. After checking in online, customers will have a 4-hour window to arrive at the office, check in at a kiosk, and claim their spot in line. A controversial conservative figure faces serious allegations, and President Trump prepares to kick off his 2020 campaign. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell its story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Today, President Trump prepares to kick off his 2020 election campaign. His first event of the 2020 campaign takes place in Orlando, Florida. Supporters of the president have been camping out for over 40 hours to attend his rally. The rally is a formal announcement for what is already common knowledge to most Americans. Trump will be seeking re-election. Trump expects a capacity crowd at the 20,000-seat Amway Center in Orlando. As the 2020 election is set to truly begin, Kristen Holmes gives us a preview of what to expect from the race for the White House.
In a different approach than this now famous 2015 escalator ride in Trump Tower,
I am officially running for President of the United States.
Tonight, President Trump will formally kick off his 2020 bid for re-election with a massive campaign rally in Orlando, Florida. Hundreds of people lining up outside the Amway Center days in advance, hoping to be one of the 20,000 people inside.
Trump supporters don't get a chance really to be out in the open about their support of this president, so it's really nice to be with other people who think like you do.
The campaign bracing for overflow, planning on airing the announcement outside on screens in what they're calling 45 Fest. Just down the street, protesters. Earlier in the day, a new 2020 poll in Florida with bad news for the president. Former Vice President Joe Biden preliminarily leading Trump 50% to 41%.
And if I'm your nominee, winning Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, believe it or not, and I believe we can win Texas and Florida.
The Quinnipiac University poll also showing several other Democratic candidates with an edge over the president, including Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and Beto O'Rourke. Next week, these candidates will have a chance to sway voters in the Sunshine State at the first Democratic debate in Miami. I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Trump's Florida announcement comes as Democratic presidential hopefuls prepare to debate later this month in Miami. Lawyers for the relatives of victims of the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting say Alex Jones's attorney sent them child pornography. Jones, the host of InfoWars, is being sued, accused of spreading the false claim that the shooting was a hoax. According to court documents, lawyers for the families say Jones's attorney sent them an image that, quote, appeared to be child pornography. The image was reported to the FBI with no comment as of yet. Jones denies any involvement and says he is being framed. New York became the 13th state to authorize driver's licenses for immigrants who entered the U.S. illegally under legislation approved by lawmakers and signed into law Monday night. The Democrat-led state Senate voted 33 to 29 in favor of the bill after several hours of debate and was quickly signed into law by Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat. The Assembly passed the measure last week. Supporters argued that immigrants, especially upstate, require licenses to get to work, care for their families, and take care of everyday tasks. How do you make sure you're safe while eating this summer? That story's still ahead.
We're going to have scattered showers throughout this evening. That's going to lead to possible flooded roadways. And I'll let you know on my extended forecast coming up next when we can finally see some sunshine returning. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Well, it was yet another rainy day out there today. Right now in Athens, look at 74 degrees. We are still going to be under that flash flood watch until Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you do encounter any type of flooded roadways, make sure you turn around and don't drown, as most flood deaths occur in vehicles. So we have southwest winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region, we have similar conditions: 76 in Ripley, 75 over New Lexington, and a nice cool 72 up in New Martinsville and Cambridge, all under these stormy conditions throughout the next couple hours into the overnight. I would take a look at precipitations. This is what we're going to be dealing with overnight tonight. Some pop-up storms and showers moving through the area. Always pretty much have an equal chance of having these storms moving through the area as they're so scattered. Taking a look at tonight in Athens, looking at 67 degrees for a low temperature tonight. Heavy rain possible at times, so make sure you be careful as you go out there driving. You might have a few ponding issues on the roadways, and a few grumble of thunders are not out of the possibility as well. We still have winds out of the southwest at 0 to 5. We have 68 degrees for a low overnight tonight at Ripley, 68 in Ironton as well, 66 in Columbus, and 67 over in Cambridge. Again, all of us under the stormy possible conditions. I would take a look at the daily planner. Waking up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., 68 degrees, very humid morning out there tomorrow. Might even a few patchy fogs areas as well. Warming up a little bit by 74 degrees by lunchtime. More storms are going to be possible throughout the afternoon tomorrow. And 78 degrees for your commute home. It's going to be a rainy commute home and once again. So again, make sure you watch out for ponding out there on the roadways. Tomorrow in Athens, looking at 80 degrees. We're finally breaking back into the 80s. More rain is going to be on its way though. Even a couple of downpours at times. We still have southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at precipitations for tomorrow. This is the rain we're going to be dealing with most of the day tomorrow. So a few breaks in the rain in a few areas, but generally mostly raining for most of the area. Tomorrow around the region in southeast Ohio, 82 degrees, a warm spot in Ironton, 80 for most of the board, 81 in Marietta, and 80 degrees over in Newark, 78 still in Cambridge and New Martinsville, not quite getting to the 80s tomorrow. I would take a look tomorrow in Athens, look at 77 degrees, rainy for most of the day. Storms are still going to be possible for tomorrow, so make sure you be prepared for that. We'll have south winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour. I would take a look for the next several days. Thursday, those rain showers are still going to be sticking around. Friday, though, we finally have some sunshine. It's going to be a very nice day, 79 degrees. But unfortunately, the rest of the weekend, Saturday's rain does return into your Sunday and even into the beginning of your next work week on Monday and Tuesday as well. Ben?
Thank you, Blake. And as the weather gets hotter, your appetite for picnics increases. Meredith Wood has the report on how you can prevent any foodborne illnesses in today's Health Minute.
You want your summer to be full of sun and fun, not food poisoning.
When we sit food outside, when it's exposed to high temperatures, or even when it's just out for long periods of time inside, the temperatures can basically create a petri dish for the proliferation of bacteria.
Keep 4 simple things in mind when preparing to eat outside. First, clean. Make sure you're washing your hands with soap and water, as well as keeping the grill and all surfaces clean. Next, separate.
Don't put raw meat anywhere next to anything else you're preparing.
And when packing for a picnic, keep foods and drinks in 2 different coolers. Also,
make sure you cook meat all the way through thoroughly.
Get that food thermometer out of the drawer and use it. 165 degrees Fahrenheit for poultry, 160 for burgers. And finally, let go of the leftovers.
If any foods have been unrefrigerated for more than 2 hours, throw them out.
That time is cut down to 1 hour if it's hotter than 90 degrees outside. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Coming up, find out what events are happening in the area. And a big discovery is made about climate change from an unexpected source. Next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your local public television station.
Is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
A lot of free events are happening throughout the region. Take a look at what's to come in today's community calendar. A research submarine given a joke name is making real discoveries. The submarine named Boaty McBoatface after a massive public vote is making important discoveries about climate change. It undertook its first mission in April 2017, traveling through underwater valleys in Antarctica to measure key details about water temperature and saltiness. Findings were published Monday in the journal PNAS, showing that increasingly strong winds in the region causes turbulence deep in the sea. According to experts, that causes sea temperature to rise and contributes to rising sea levels. The National Oceanography Center said that the data from the submarine mission presents a completely new way of looking at the deep ocean. Climate change is putting almost half of the world's primates at risk of extinction, scientists say. They say that at the current pace of climate change, about 40% of the Earth's primates will become more and more likely to go extinct. Scientists say already 60% of primate species are vulnerable because of habitat loss and human activity, everything from deforestation and palm oil, farming to illegal hunting. But they say that the extreme weather that comes with rising temperatures will make them even more vulnerable. Every dog owner has been there, brought to your knees by your favorite canine's puppy dog eyes. Well, according to a study published yesterday, evolution may be what's behind that famous facial expression. According to researchers, a specific muscle causes dogs' inner eyebrows to raise, making their eyes appear bigger and more infant-like. The scientists believe dogs do it specifically to get a reaction out of humans, and that they evolved to adapt the expression starting over 30,000 years ago. And now let's go back to Blake for a final look at our weather.
Well, it's going to be a very rainy evening tonight. We might have a possible heavy downpours every once in a while. So if you're driving out on the roadways tonight, you can count on some rain. Make sure you take a little slow, as you might have a little bit of ponding out there on the road this evening. Tonight in Athens, looking at a low of 67 degrees, so fairly pleasant day temperature-wise. But unfortunately, those storms are going to be possible throughout the evening tonight, and we'll have southwest winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at tomorrow in Athens, 80 degrees, more rain is going to be on this way. Again, more downpours are going to be possible, so be careful out there on the roadways. We have southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. I would take a look at the next couple of days. Wednesday, 80 degrees, more storms are going to be possible. We'll have a 50% chance of some thunderstorms tomorrow. Thursday, another soggy day out there for you, 78 degrees. And Friday, we finally had that rain, that sunshine returning, 79 degrees. And for the extended forecast, looking at Saturday, rain does unfortunately return with some warmer temperatures, and into the next work week on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be another wet week looking ahead of us, but I don't think that rain's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure everyone's looking forward to Friday to hopefully see the end of it, but again, who knows? Thank you though, Blake.
You're welcome.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. For Blake Hardesty, I'm Ben Schwartz. Have a great night.